another reminder of the bracket. Who have you gone with?
I've gone for Athletic Club.
I am also going for Athletic Club.
Many months later.
Full-time whistle goes. Manchester United are going to Bilbao.
The Social Saturday divides opinion on football more than any other TV show in football right now. But they do get some of the biggest creators in football on the show. And that's why today we're going to look at James Lawrence Alcott and Lyes, who predicted who was going to win the trophies in the Champions League, the FA Cup and the Premier League. It is very, very good because I'm just going to give you a little sneak preview. They don't get many right. But if you're new to the channel, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Let's get into it.
Look at who you two think is going to come out as the eventual champion of the FA Cup. You're going Villa.
Ooh, okay.
Jimbo? Brighton.
Yeah, why not?
He seems just as shocked as me.
I think
He seems shocked.
Brighton, to be fair, was a wild show. I was more thinking Forest, City, Villa. Palace are probably at the back end, but Forest, City, Villa, I think they were probably maybe the three contenders, especially with Unai Emery, Guardiola, and then Forest the season they were having. But Brighton is a wild show.
Seeing who you picked there.
Do you know what? I just realised I'm nervous. There's a thing called the jinx. Basically, anyone I say is doing well, they then fall off a cliff here.
He knew it himself. He's jinxing the per club.
So what you're hoping for if you're a fan of any of these teams is that like you've not been picked by me.
Is the Unai Emery factor a big part of this? I think he's won 4 domestic cup competitions, hasn't he? All the Europa Leagues he's won as well. Is that a huge part of why you've gone Villa?
1,000%. They've been very impressive in the FA Cup this year as well, too. But I just look at Villa, their cup form compared to their league form. I don't want to say they're struggling in the league, right? But it's obviously not hit the heights of last season. But they are definitely a much better cup team. And I kind of ditto everything he said about Brighton, about Villa. They are very adept going forward. They have a lot of quality in that team. I think the one worry for Villa is potentially that tie with PSG. Like, if they do progress out of that, that's obviously a big if. What would they then concentrate on? You'd have to say Champions League, which could affect this prediction. But I look at Villa, they have as huge a chance as anyone.
Stick them out.
Yeah, I think Villa, you would have expected them to go against Palace and put up a little bit more of a fight than they did. But, right, 2 predictions, 2 wrong predictions.
Let's go on to the Champions League because we can have a look at the Champions League bracket now. And, you know, it's very, very tight at this as well, isn't it? Let's see if there's any agreement or if there's disagreement between our 2 guests. Who do you think is going to win it?
Ooh, yes. 2 Spanish clubs.
So
Madrid.
I'm pleased you've gone with Barcelona because my sort of gut, everything, all my spidey senses say Barcelona. I think it's there for them, but.
To be fair, I think a lot of people were going with Barcelona. They were my team that I was backing to win it, but obviously didn't come to fruition. Came up against a very good Inter Milan team.
My experience in this game is in the Champions League, you do not predict. One must beware Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And I just think when it comes to it, and I was listening to a Real Madrid podcast the other week, and they were talking about playing Barcelona in the final, because that's what we could have, couldn't we? We could have an El Clasico final.
We need him.
They're on opposite sides.
Yeah.
But they've been on opposite sides so many times over the last 15 years, and they never meet.
I just think when it gets to this end of the season, the top players just go up a notch. And one thing I was looking at the stats was that the conversion rate of Real Madrid is quite poor in comparison to the other teams, specifically in La Liga. And I just think Mbappe's starting to cook a bit. Bellingham steps up in those big games. Vinicius Junior can be much better than he has been in 2025.
And they went on to score 1 goal against Arsenal.
But Barcelona, I think, have been the kryptonite this year.
Yeah,
The record against Madrid's amazing this year.
Yeah.
What I would say that is a really interesting point Jimbo makes, because obviously Barcelona are the form team. Opta Predictor has them as the favourites as well. Everything about the way they're playing says Barcelona, but that's happened to so many teams that have come up against Real Madrid in the Champions League in previous years.
Smithy had it
Real
right.
Madrid always find a way in this competition.
They always find a way.
not
It's
about
true. I'm not going to call James crazy for this one, right? But yeah, Barcelona this season are just an absolute joke. They're a joy to watch. And look, right, like Ballon d'Or, we'll see where that goes, right? Salah, Rafinha, Dembele, they're all having great seasons. I genuinely believe this with all my heart. The best player in the world on quality plays for these guys, and it's Lamine Yamal.
Lies. That's his name, by the way. I'm not saying that's Lies, because I think Yamal showed up in the semi-final and very unfortunate not to go through. I think the Barcelona team was unbelievable, but Lyes does no ball. I think Yamal, I don't think he's ready to win a Ballon d'Or this year. I still think probably Rafinha and Salah are ahead of him just for overall consistency, but the quality he has is ridiculous.
I think that point that you made at the end, they're their kryptonite this season. And Real Madrid in the Champions League final, they never lose those. But maybe this is the team to do it. And yeah, the way it's going this year, it almost seems like a fairy tale season for them.
Unlucky Barcelona fans. But yeah, that's 4 predictions and 0 right so far. Well, they both got the Liverpool one right, but that was a guarantee.
The next one, as you can see, is the Europa League, which for me is wide open. Impossible to predict a winner for this because it is such an open competition. Let's have a reminder of the bracket. Who have you gone with?
I'm going for Athletic Club.
I am also going for Athletic Club.
They're the best team in the competition, right? They're actually the one team in this competition that are a Champions League side playing in the Europa League. I think there's a lot of pressure on Spurs and United to win this, right? United to get into Europe, to save their season, Spurs to break this trophy curse. These guys are kind of
Spurs and to save their season. It is basically a final to save either team's season.
playing with house money. In a way, they're not because the finals in their backyard, right? But I almost feel like they're playing with a bit more freedom. They don't have the pressure, like their season relies on this competition.
The one thing I do...
That's probably what hindered them the most. The fact that they didn't have any pressure on them. And then United, it was like everything to go out and win it. And they obviously got absolutely annihilated in the semi-final by United.
wonder is if they end up playing Man United, although they'd be massive favourites.
This is why James is good. He's one of my favourite creators on YouTube and in the football space. He's so intelligent. I know he gets 0 out of 6 predictions here, but he still comes across. He still maybe brings you to a counter argument as to why it might not come in, and he explains it brilliantly.
Man United really defend quite deep, and you're playing against a team that likes to attack
United
wide and
have
get
been good in
across the
those games.
6-yard box. You might actually stop them a little bit,
United
but they are the
games
best team.
in Europe have been decent. I think they're the only unbeaten team left in the whole of European competition, and against the
Joe
bigger
is a
sides
United
in this
fan,
Ruben
obviously.
Amorim sort of low block, low five.
Yeah.
Really hard to break them down. Like they've got results against City, Liverpool, Arsenal.
If you've made it this far, you'll love this video here too for Gary Neville's predictions of Liverpool for the 2025 season. Go check it out and make sure to like, subscribe, and I shall see you all in the next one.